Let me know. Let me, you see, every day I'm hustling. I go, go, go. I'm making my money count. More oh. Only hearing yeses, no more no. If you got a problem, let me know, no. See, every day I'm hustling. I go, go, go. I'm making my money count. More oh. Only hearing yeses, no more no. If you got a problem, let me know, no. I hear him talking, I keep on dancing, I say I'm winning. The DJ loves me, she wants my number, I'm here like fuck it. You in your feelings, I'm in my pockets like damn I'm swimming. She keep on saying that she in love, you know I'm running. Hold up, freeze, let it resonate. In soul I've flown up and increased, it's all I've ever made. I roll it up, don't sneeze and blow the rest away. I just wanna chill, watch a show and have some sex today. Let me know. And you here wanting smoke, but can't handle OG. Why you acting broke? Choking like you balls deep, I'm about to blow. Have your girl on both knees, you golfing with a stroke.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Certified Podcast. You already know what time it is. I'm your boy Mike Ginn, and today I am joined by none other than Mr. Champagne Konny himself. I'm talking about Koncept. Koncept, welcome back to the show, my friend.
Hello. What's up, my dude?
We had Koncept back on probably around the third episode, I think it was, when this show first started. So I'm really happy to have you back. You've been crazy busy. Unfortunately, we're only on audio today, so we'll just put a picture of his shiny face up there for you guys at home. But
I'll give you a little gif of my moving face.
There you go. You can see enough of your moving face in all these videos you've been putting out lately. I mean, COVID's been holding people down, but you've been staying busy. Have you been putting out these videos mostly because you can't really like tour around and stuff?
Yeah, exactly. You know, like I just released 2 videos, one for Let Me Know and one for Lit. Both of those videos were done actually pre-COVID.
Yeah, so the Let Me Know one was done all via iPhone in Switzerland while you were doing one of your favorite things, snowboarding.
Exactly. Yeah, I was on tour last year, and I played Switzerland, and I was fortunate enough to get to go snowboarding while I was there, and we shot the music for Let Me Know. That was January. It was like January 15th last year.
Yeah, I think I remember last time we talked when you were still in Asia, and you were like one of the things you missed most was going snowboarding and stuff like that. So
exactly.
It's really cool that you could combine both, and it came out dope. I actually just watched it like a couple days ago. For people that don't know, Let Me Know is this video out on his YouTube channel. Of course, all the links will be in the show notes, featuring Tony Cruz. Did I say that right, Tony? Is that how you pronounce his first name?
Twan Cruz.
Twan Cruz. Okay.
He actually changed his name to TK3K. So if you heard my song Bossy, he's on that as well.
Okay.
But when we released the song for Let Me Know,
I thought that might have been the same person, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah. It's funny that you say the name wrong. The reason why he actually kind of changed his name though is because people say it wrong.
Well, now that
I guess he made a good move.
Yeah, now that you say Twan, I get it because it looks like it's short for Antoine. But
yeah, exactly.
If you don't see the A and N in front of it, then it just looks like it's like another way to spell Tony. But
Tony, yeah.
I do apologize to Mr. TK3K. But
he appreciates it.
Yeah, but the video was dope. I really dug how you mixed some of your passions together and put together actually kind of a slightly harder track, because a lot of Champagne Konny is a lot of having fun. Like you've been really enjoying yourself with that one.
Hell yeah. It was great, man. And like just being out there, like I just love traveling and obviously love snowboarding, but just love being on the road and seeing new places and experiencing new cultures. And Switzerland is definitely one of the most beautiful places I've ever been to, for sure.
It's definitely on my bucket list, though. I think I want to enjoy it more during one of their few warmer months than some of the snow. I'm the opposite of all that. I moved down to Tampa, Florida for a reason, so I could get away from all that. Yeah. So you got Champagne Konny, the album out. What was the concept behind that? Just you wanted to just do something a little bit different, because you normally, from a fan's perspective, have always kind of delivered these kind of introspective, like almost deeper rhymes, deeper lyrics. And this one, you just kind of came out and had fun. You obviously got your Watch the Sky Fall 2 with Royce, and I'm always a huge Royce fan. You know that.
Yes, sir.
But, most of the album is really just about letting loose. Is that was kind of like where you were going with that?
Yeah, I mean the album, Champagne Conny, like the meaning behind it is like celebrating your wins, but also your losses, because everything that is a part of your journey, and again that's good and bad, leads you to where you are. So the album is about celebrating all of it and everything that got me up to that point. So um the album is like, again, it is about having fun, but again, it's celebrating both the wins and the losses, and just being grateful, because even the losses make you stronger, and make you see a different perspective, and opens up your eyes a lot. So yeah, it was definitely like a fun project. And there is like the introspective joints like Tomorrow on there, which actually there's a video out for that one that we shot in Spain same time last year in January, on the Champagne Konny tour.
And Let
But
Me
yeah,
Know goes a little bit harder too.
yeah, for sure. We were just having fun. Like I like you said, I was in Asia and I came back from Asia, and linked up with my friends, and back in LA, back home, and just really just caught that vibe and that excitement of traveling around the world for that long, and then being able to come back home and celebrate that, and also just like reflect on it all, and then be able to make music with with the people that I love and care about. So.
Let me ask you a question. So one of the songs that you really kind of blown up with over the last few months is Shoot, but that's
Mhm.
not on the album, is it? Like, is it on a special edition or something?
No, so Shoot is not on the album. Shoot is a single, just its own single.
Is it going to be on like the
Um,
next thing?
it is not, but I will give you some exclusive information that nobody knows yet, right here on my Gin podcast. uh, Shoot is its own single, but Shoot just got picked up by NBA 2K.
Oh,
So
nice.
Shoot
So it's
is
going to be
going
on
to
a
be
21 or
on
22.
Yep, on 21. They're gonna add it. It's gonna be on like in the next like 2 weeks. And then actually ESPN just picked up the song as well. And so that you're gonna start hearing it on ESPN, and the Golden State Warriors are actually going to use it as their official song
Oh man, that's
for a
crazy.
lot
Congratulations.
for a lot of their social media. So they're actually making some videos with it right now, like with some highlights and stuff like that.
Man, congratulations. That's awesome. I play a
Thank,
shit ton of 2K, so I'm sure
hell
I'll
yeah.
hear it
So
sooner or later.
you're gonna be rocking Shoot.
Yeah, and I'll probably be gunning it up too.
Hell yeah.
Actually, that's a
But
lie.
yeah,
People that know me, point forward. I got you. I like this. I like this distributing the ball, but living vicariously when you can create somebody 6'7" when you're about a foot shorter. But you know how that
is. Yeah, right.
yeah, welcome to the world. But man, that's dope. ESPN playing it, Golden State Warriors. Man, that's crazy, man. Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. Yeah, so that one's just a loose single. I like that song "Safe." If you heard "Safe" yet, "Safe" is a loose single. I basically just dropped a bunch of loose singles while I've been getting ready to release a lot of stuff. Another thing that I will tell you exclusively that nobody else knows is that I'm gonna drop, I believe, 4 albums this year.
Man, that's
Um,
crazy.
and 3 of them are done completely already, and I'm working on the 4th one right now. So the first one is called Champagne Room, and it's going to drop at the end of March, early April. And then I can't tell you the titles to the other ones yet. But
I mean,
the first
that's
one,
crazy. I
the
mean, so
first
many
one's
people are
Champagne
being
Room.
held down right now, and you're just working.
Man, I just, I was supposed to go. So like when this all happened, I was supposed to go back on tour.
Mm-hmm.
I was supposed to actually leave in March and go back to Europe. And then obviously when everything got shut down, you had to reevaluate like what you were going to do, and where you were. Obviously some people took the time to relax and rest, and some people took the time to learn new things, and all of those are all great, all great, great things. I think that with this whole virus and pandemic, I think that there's there's a lot of negatives, but there is a lot of positives to it as well.
That's been kind of the running theme. A lot of people I've interviewed lately, especially on Certified. I mean, even on Art of MMA, my other show, like it's been kind of running theme, just finding ways to make it work. This show came out of the
Exactly.
dead. Like this show was pretty much
Yeah.
dead in the water for a while. I wasn't recording really any episodes, but as a bartender, especially
Hmm.
when I was living in DC, everything was getting shut down. So what am I going to do in my
Oh yeah.
downtime? Just sit there and play video games? That's fun for a little while. But you know me, I got to be ambitious.
Yeah.
I got to grind. So That got
Exactly.
everything going again. It got my MMA going again. It got my entertainment stuff going again, and it got everything going again. So here we are,
And so
9 episodes
that's
into
great.
season 2.
Hell
Here's the
yeah.
certified podcast back. So, and I'm having the best time of my life doing it, because now, it's just taking the focus off all the bad in the world.
Exactly.
The last person we
Exactly.
had on, a girl named Roxanne Hayward. She's an actress out in LA from South Africa, and she's done a lot of work. But even
Mhm.
her, like, she went from acting full time to now she's doing a podcast. She's doing motivational stuff. She's doing
That's
like all
cool.
these other things, trying to bring good in the world, because you know what? There wasn't too many acting auditions going on. There weren't too many shoots going on. So
Exactly.
another dude, DJ Bro Rab, he's the tour DJ for Kid and Play. You know
Hmm.
what? There ain't much touring going on right now for Kid and Play. So
Tell
guess
me
what?
about it.
They're on the radio. They're doing streaming stuff. They're doing all kinds of stuff. Like, it
Yeah.
opened up a bunch of avenues for a bunch of people that they might not have had. And I don't think the world's going back to the old way, even when touring and stuff is available again. I think people have
Uh,
just found all new ways to make revenue and money and stay busy.
Agreed. Like exactly like you said, you know what I mean? Like there was a time where people, we just had to figure it out and just adapt, you know what I mean? And figure out what that was, what either the next job was or what that next passion was, or, just, fill up time, make money, etc. Yeah, so for me, I just literally like I said, I was, basically when I came back from the tour, I came back right at the end of January. So I was only going to be here for February. And actually I was recording Champagne Room at that time, which is the next album that's coming out. But I didn't have it done yet. And actually I was kind of like worried because I was going back on tour and I was like, shit, how am I going to finish this album in time, before I go back on the road for I was supposed to go back basically the whole summer. And so it actually, in a way, it was actually kind of good because what happened was, when everything got shut down, it just gave me more time to, honestly, to go work on that project, which what I had, I think I scrapped basically all of it, to be honest with you. I think I basically redid the whole thing. And then I started just working on the next project. I literally just been locked in the studio for the last for the last year. And then I go back,
Scrapping a whole project sounds familiar. That's called being a creative person.
Yeah, I don't think I used any of those songs that I had prior. I'm not really sure. I might have used one. But yeah, just been locked in the studio the whole time. And my family's in New York, so I go back and forth from time to time to see my mom and stuff. So
yeah, they still in Queens and Brooklyn and stuff.
they're right out of the city now. They're
okay.
Yeah, they're about 40 minutes out of the city.
Yeah, you don't gotta say exactly. We don't need any stalkers showing up at their doors.
Yeah. Little more pleasant. And obviously, good thing that they are now, especially with COVID. It's crazy. In New York, all the rents and shit, they dropped 40%.
Yeah, everything. I mean,
Crazy.
you're in a major city. I'm still kind of in a major city, but
Yeah.
New York, LA, DC, places like that completely shut down from COVID. So, to be a little bit outside of that bubble a little bit and still trying to be safe, of course, because everybody's health is the first, priority right now. But, just to be a little out of that bubble, it feels so much more, not relaxing. I don't want to say relaxing, but less stressful.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely an interesting thing too, because like you were saying, with the world, will it ever go back to normal kind of thing? And I agree with you. I don't think that it's going to go back to normal,
I mean, I think there'll be a day that people get out and about and they just go back to enjoying their lives. But I think the way they do business and the way things function are just going to be completely different.
Yeah, for sure. I was even talking about it with someone the other day. Obviously we were saying before, I was in Asia for a while, before the virus, when you were in Korea, especially in Korea, Japan, but in Korea, especially 70% of people were wearing, I would say maybe 50%, but around there, people are wearing masks all the time on a regular basis. You know what I mean? Nothing to do with the virus over there. It has to do with the pollution. But I think that here, I think that people will wear masks forever now.
I think there'll be a portion of them.
Yeah, exactly. Not everybody, but there will be
we have a hard enough time getting people to wear masks in places like Tampa. I mean,
oh my God,
you start going outside of major cities, even in even DC. If you go outside 30, 40 minutes outside the city into like Middle Virginia or Middle Maryland or anywhere,
Yeah, no one's giving a
yeah,
fuck.
they don't care, and they don't want to care. Like,
I
and
know. I went
it's just
down
a
to
different
Florida. I
world.
went down to Florida. I have family down there, and I like went down there. I forget what month it was, but I went down there, and I just basically like stayed at my homie's house. They have like a private spot and stuff. But like we went out like a couple times, and I was like, damn, people like just like to get food and stuff, and it was just like, damn, people just don't really give a fuck. No one's wearing a mask. People
Not
are
at
just
all.
like dancing around. I was like, well, this is too crazy.
I mean, we were just talking about it off air. You know, the Tampa Bay Bucks just won the Super Bowl,
Yeah,
and those people celebrate. And it's crazy to me, like the amount of ridicule they get is justified, but it's just almost surreal if you think about it, because obviously you know it's going to be a super spreader event, no different than any large gathering, but
yeah,
and that's just going to happen. But a year ago, if that had happened, everybody been like, "Oh, that's such an epic party," and that's kind of like my mind was thinking. I was like, "Man, how much this world has changed?" Because a year ago, that would have been like the most epic party. People would have been like, "Oh, I wish I was there." And then
yeah.
instead, a year later, now people are like, "Man, what are they thinking? That's crazy." You
Like
know,
frowning
putting
on
people,
people. Yeah,
yeah, and it's just so real, so surreal how much the world has changed. You know,
I
last time
know.
we talked, you were touring Asia. You know, you went over there for a 2 week tour and got stuck for a while, and
Yeah,
stuck in the best way, because it was one of the best things to happen for your career.
yeah, hell
Real
yeah.
quick before I ask a question, are you still technically signed to Sony Music Agent, or are you free
No,
now?
so no, I'm free. So my deal was a non-exclusive deal, so it was, I'm obviously ideal. No, I'm a free agent.
Okay, because I was curious about that, because I know with everything changing, I didn't know if they let you go or how that was worded and stuff, or if it was just exclusively in Asia and all that stuff. But
Yeah, no, I'm
yeah,
free agent.
so here you are, you're touring everywhere, you come back. At some point, are you like getting like, I know you've been working crazy on this music, but is your skin getting a little itchy to get out of the house now? Like, because you've been like kind of
Bro,
stuck for a while?
like you wouldn't believe my I miss traveling so much. I mean, like that was like, to be honest, like, it's part of, probably my favorite part of what I do. Well, one, performing is my favorite part of creating music. I love performing. I love
Yeah, you always bring a lot of energy.
just yeah, exactly. Just like the whole energy of performing is like my favorite thing. Getting to like connect with the fans and to see people reacting to the music. That's my favorite part of this. So just in general, that alone, besides like the traveling aspect of it and the moving around aspect, just that alone is something that I miss tremendously. So that said, like yeah, just traveling in general. Like I said, like too, like experiencing new cultures and seeing these new places, like I love it. You know what I mean? It's like what I live for. So, and honestly, it's like what, it also, I mean, not that obviously, like I said, I've been locked in and I made 4 albums too. And like this, everything's inspiring to me, but, traveling and seeing these new places is definitely like a major inspiration to what I do. So, yeah, definitely something that I miss like crazy. And then like Asia, I mean, Asia, I just miss in general all the time. Every time I see like my homies posting all that delicious Asian food, I'm like, damn, I wish
Yeah,
I was eating that shit right now.
I can only imagine. I'm big on like, especially like being in the restaurant industry forever. So I'm big on trying new foods and trying different things. Um,
Yeah,
it's just crazy. And even being down here in Tampa, like the food scene is insane, especially with a lot of the, the Cuban foods and the Latin
yeah,
influence.
I
And then
bet.
also the craft scene, like before COVID hit, craft cocktails, craft beer, all that stuff was going big in DC, and it was kind of making its way down here too. And they're
Yeah,
still kind of trying to fight through it and try to keep these businesses kind of going. And by the way, everybody at home, make sure you support your local businesses, because they're all struggling right now.
damn
Um,
straight.
I love that Verizon did that after concert for like kind of helping support some of that stuff. That was really cool.
Yeah,
After the Super Bowl. But you know, like all these places and like all these places you can visit and see. Yeah, I love traveling too. I'm just like, I get the itch and I'm missing it too. So I can only imagine with you. One question I did have though is, so this new album that you came out with, I guess it's almost been a year now,
yeah,
Champagne Konny. You mixed it up with a lot of different producers. I mean, I even noticed that on Let Me Know you used Wrist. and then you on Shoot
Yeah,
you had
my homie.
Max Landry. Like you just had so many people like coming in and out on this album. And my question was more like, are any of these new albums you're working on kind of going to get back a little bit to the roots of like J57 and all those guys, or are you just going to keep like trying different things, keep evolving?
No, I'm gonna keep evolving and trying different things for sure. These next projects though are all produced by pretty much the same people. Like Champagne Room is all produced by Max Landry. Um, and then the album to follow that actually is all produced by Max Landry as well. But the other people, like the people that are on Champagne Conny, like Wrist and George Reichert and Keitel, they're like that's my team. Those are like my brothers. So you'll see them on basically everything that I do. So like on Champagne Room, it's all produced by Max Landry, but like Wrist produced one of the songs on there, co-produced one of the songs. George Reichert plays bass on a couple of the songs. So it's definitely, but with that said, even though it's the same, same team, same people, same me, none of the projects are going to sound the same. Nothing I do ever sounds the same. As if you could tell from my track record, we go from Awaken to Fuel to 14 Hours Ahead to Champagne Conny. So, Champagne Room will be the same thing. It won't be the same sound, but it'll still be that same great feeling that you need. You dig?
Yeah, I feel that you definitely evolve with everything you do, but at the same time, there's always like you might not realize it as your own artist, but as a fan, there's always that core of who you are that comes across in every single song.
No, I appreciate that. I'm glad that you think that. I mean, I think the same thing. I just, obviously it's always me, so it's always going to
I mean, you
have
can,
that. You know what I
yeah,
mean? I don't try to make anything. It's not even like when I made Champagne Conny, I wasn't like, hey, I'm gonna go do something so different to awaken. You know what I mean? Like that's not what my headspace was. My headspace was just that I'm like, and it always is that I'm just gonna create the best music that I can create, how I feel and what I want to create now. So whether that be a Let Me Know record or a Tomorrow record or a Fly Away record or a fucking Watch the Skyfall record, it just depends on what that mood is and what that feeling is there. So one, I appreciate that you say that, and I agree with you because everything that I do is me. You know what I mean? It's not me trying to do something. I'm not like, hey, I'm gonna try to sound like this person. I never fucking do that. So it'll always be me. So it'll always come across that. At the same time, like I said, I make music on how I'm feeling at that moment. So I'll never feel now like I did when I created Awaken. I'll never feel now like I did when I recorded 14 Hours Ahead.
yeah,
So with that said, I don't think, not that I'll never make records that sound similar or sound in the same, like, sound bank say, but like, again, I'm just always making music of what I feel now. So like, I'm glad that you say that, even though the progression or the development, you still hear me, because I have had, it's funny, it's in the hip hop world, you have like, as you know, I come from Fat Beats too. So I feel like I especially know you have like the people that are just like super, super like one dimensional hip hop, they're
yeah.
just like, this is all they want to hear. So like, I have had fans be like, when Champagne Conny out, be like, oh, I really missed the old Concept, like,
I mean, I'm not
why
gonna lie, I
can't
was one of
like
them.
why can't you make records like Awaken again? And it's like not again, I appreciate the people that love Awaken and still ride with the record. I mean, so I still fuck with Awaken, but at the same time, I made that at a different time in my life, and I was a different person. I had different visions of things, and so it's in a way, it's like, again, it's impossible for me to make that
Yeah, and
same thing
I'm
again.
I'm one of those people. I'm not even gonna lie. Like when Champagne Conny came out, I wasn't really feeling it as much because, and it kind of grew on me. Actually, I'll be real with it, it grew on me.
Oh yeah.
But what I was saying is that you like whether the words changed, the music changed, the delivery, the rhythmic delivery of yourself is always the same. You have this certain cadence that's unique to your own, which if you're a hip hop fan, you recognize like certain cadences, right? Like even like you just mentioned, off air, Jack Harlow and some other people starting to tour again. It immediately popped to me that when he did What's Poppin', he changed his cadence up. Like that wasn't
Yeah.
his normal style. In fact, to me, he kind of took it from, I mean, everybody kind of mimics everybody. So I've kind of
Yeah.
backed off the whole stealing thing. But there's a rapper named Just Low that kind of blew up on TikTok before What's Poppin' and everything kind of came out. And he has that rhythmic flow that's in What's Poppin' on all his stuff. He's always
Really?
had, yeah, he's had that flow. And I'm not saying Jack Harlow even knows who Just Low is, but
Yeah.
when you hear a certain rhythmic sound without even looking, you kind of instinctively say that's that person. And when I hear you, I know it's you. Like I don't even have to like look at the screen. Like I know, like that's Concept.
Yeah.
And obviously I've been listening to you for over a decade. Like I know. But what I was saying is like, and like I said, Champagne Conny wasn't my favorite album of yours, but not every album is going to be everybody's favorite, right? The Fuel was one of my favorites. I really dug 14 Hours Ahead. I love a lot of your earlier stuff because it was a little bit harder. But the more I listened to Champagne Conny, the more I realized some of that stuff is still there. It's just you chose to come out with the more entertaining version songs first.
Mm-hmm.
And then as time is going on, you've kind of released them all. But, that was, not everything when people first hear it is going to be appealing. Sometimes it has to grow on people. And if
for sure.
If it's quality, eventually people will catch up to it. And sometimes that takes time. And I think as a fan of somebody who's known all of your work for most of your career,
yeah,
I might have missed one or two things, but I've pretty much been there the whole time.
Appreciate you.
I appreciate you, man. Keep putting out killer stuff. But what I was saying is that you've had a certain style, like you said, you evolve. And one thing I know from talking to many artists is that you have to evolve or you die. Like, that's in everything in life. And
yeah, exactly.
So many artists get pigeonholed. My man, I still call him Y-Fame, Lester London, he's kind of fallen into that too. And, he has his own studio and he's doing his own stuff now, but people still talk about an album he put out 10 years ago when he was still a kid. And people like, why don't you put something out like that out again? And that's just not who he is anymore,
Exactly, yeah.
And every artist grows and you can still, I guess, embrace the bass and, put out something similar to keep your fans happy and make it so they listen to your new stuff and see who you are now. But if you really enjoy an artist and you don't want them to grow, then you don't really love that artist. You just love that album. That's kind of the way I say it.
I agree with that 100%.
Everybody grows. I don't care if you're in what industry of life, you grow. And I'm not the same person I was 10 years ago, and you're sure as hell not the same person with all the experiences you've had traveling around the world.
That's exactly my same analogy, like when people like say that to me, like, oh, like, about Awaken. It's like, well, that was so many years ago. I've developed so much, again, as an artist, as a person, so it's like, for me to make that same album again, it's just not possible, And like, I say to people all the time, like, you got to think like, it's, representative of everything. Like if you did fucking construction, if you were a plumber, if you were anything, you're not doing the same thing for fucking 10 years. And honestly, if you are doing the same thing for 10 years, you're probably majorly fucking up.
Yeah, I mean, either that or you're just, I wouldn't say fucking up because you could just be appealing to a base that makes you money.
You could.
But you're not being an artist. You're not being an artist.
I feel like I feel like myself. I guess that's just the person I am. I feel like in anything that I do, I want to improve, develop, and learn more. You know what I mean? That's for everything.
Yeah, you got to be authentic to yourself.
So, so like for me, I couldn't do anything again, like not even music, but anything. I couldn't do anything where I just did the same shit over and over and over again. And like as a creator of music and as a fan of music, I also don't want to hear the same shit anymore. Like, you know what I mean? Like I have my favorite artists. I do not want them to make the same album again. Like I don't need the artist to make, you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't want fucking, Kendrick say to fucking make the same fucking album over and over again. It's like I might as well just listen to the first one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you want the old album, just go listen to it. It's not going anywhere.
Exactly.
The artists are still getting paid every time you listen to it. So go ahead, like play it up. They don't care. They're like, play it all you want.
Facts.
But does that actually kind of make it difficult sometimes when you're touring? Because sometimes people want like certain things that you're performing the new stuff and they're like, oh, but we really want this. Do you just cave or do you like hold your ground?
No, I mean, I always do both. Like even like on the Champagne Conny tour, obviously like I was performing more of the Champagne Conny songs than, say Awaken or whatever. But like, there's definitely like some songs from like the old projects and the other projects that I still perform on a regular basis. So even on the Champagne Conny tour, I forget exactly what songs I did, but like I would do like one or two from Awaken. I would do a song, I would do the Fuel. I pretty much always did the Fuel. Um, I would do like, a couple songs from 14 Hours Ahead, and then majority stick to it to Champagne Conny because it's a new album and what I'm pushing. But, obviously like I know, fans that for example, when I'm on the Champagne Conny tour, like and the album just came out, people don't know it as well yet. So like some people do want to hear like the Aspirations or,
Gets them in the door.
Fuck You music or something. So I was definitely still and will always, continue to, do those songs. Cause again, like I was saying, like even though I've developed and moved past those, as an artist because they were made in the past, like they're still songs that I created and they still come from a place inside of me. So they still, very much mean a lot to me and resonate with me. And again, I know they resonate to my fans. So I
Yeah, if
definitely
you ever
always,
play in Tampa and you ever play in Tampa and you hear a voice in the back of the crowd yell out, "Play Porcelain," that was me.
I don't know if you're gonna get Porcelain, but
I'll be the one person. I'll be like,
but
can
you know
thank me
what?
later.
If I come to Tampa, I'll perform Porcelain.
There
I'll
you
make
go.
sure that when I come to Tampa, I'll perform Porcelain.
So you come to Tampa, I better not be in the crowd. I better be like somewhere around the stage.
You already know you're gonna be backstage,
Absolutely.
kicking it
Hopefully post-COVID, so I don't catch anything. But
for real.
So you got these albums working out? Are there any like remote plans to start anything back up, or is it all still on hold right now? Like as
I
far
think
as touring and playing?
everything's still on hold right now. I mean, there are some people that we're talking to that about touring again. Because like I was saying, when this all happened, I was about to go back on tour. So, um, as we know a little bit more, we'll start booking again, like getting things ready. I'm sure for probably 2022.
It's got to be hard for hip hop because hip hop is such an energy type crowd. Like if
Exactly,
you're
yeah.
playing like an R&B show, you can space people out and they can be in their seats, standing
And you could
up,
have people
vibing.
sitting down.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But in a hip hop show, one of my favorite artists is out there in LA too, Snow the Product. I went to her show.
I love Snow the Product.
Yeah, I went to her show when she was in DC, and obviously everybody's moshing, everybody's jamming together, everybody's trying to get close to the stage. It's just a big vibe. And I've seen some of your shows like on videos and stuff. It's kind of the same thing. Like it's a vibe. Every hip hop show, like people are cramming together, people are dancing, people are having a good time, hopping up and down. You don't always see that at a lot of different concerts. You might get it in some like heavier rock music. You might get it some, just different kinds of crowds. But when like you got something slower, people can stay in their seats. They can relax. That's just not what hip hop is. So I find it's going to be hard for hip hop to kind of get back to normal.
Yeah, I know. It's definitely like, I've had this conversation many times too. It's like, it'll be interesting too, because exactly. Like the vibe, it's just, that's what it is. It's about the vibe and the energy. And there's like, little things that just like won't happen anymore. Like, being at a festival and someone hands you a joint and you just like hit the joint randomly, like shit like that just ain't gonna happen anymore. You know what I mean?
Would you even want to perform if people are kind of like spaced out and can't really engage?
I mean, yes, just because like I was saying before, like my favorite thing about all of this is performing the music. Yeah. So, I am definitely like excited to get back out there in any capacity that I can, I guess. With that said, I am actually about to do a digital tour, which I can't tell too much about it just yet, but
what exactly is a digital tour? You don't gotta tell me like all the details, but like explain digital tour.
So teaming up with a company, and we're going to basically do like a digital tour where it's only available in certain markets. So we're going to do like a Champagne Room digital tour where like first we do New York, and it's available to all my New York fans. And it comes with like, we're going to do different things, like different giveaways and, special.
So kind of like a pay-per-view concert online.
Exactly. Yeah. And it'll be like in different markets. So like, not everybody will be able to watch it all at one time. It'll be like specific to different markets and different regions. And then at the end, we'll do like a global one.
Okay.
But it should be pretty cool. Yeah, I did like early on when this all started, I did like a few of the digital shows. Definitely a different energy, a different vibe. And also interesting, like performing in a room by yourself.
Yeah, we were talking. I mean, we were just talking about that Verizon concert. That was real weird too. Like seeing Christina Aguilera and some of these other artists perform, Miley Cyrus and all these guys, like they're trying to bring energy to a performance. Like even Christina, you saw her hopping up and down, like when she knows normally she would be having that crowd kind of pumping her up, like while she's doing certain things. And there was just nobody there. And it's kind of weird. I kind of like how WWE does everything with the whole Thunderdome and they have all the screens. And so people aren't there, but they're kind of there. They kind of pipe in the crowd sound and kind of makes it feel a little bit more alive. NBA kind of did it with their bubble. And there's some limited fan stuff going on right now. And you can just tell, like UFC had their big event in with Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier over in Abu Dhabi, and they had fans for the first time in like a year. And it's just that energy, like you can't simulate it with a sound. It's just the energy. They're either into it or they're not. One of the weirdest things I saw all year long is watching some of these football games with piped in sound from nowhere. And you're really just at the victim of the sound engineer, whether like the crowd cheers or boos. It's just not real. It's not authentic. And I've always been one person as a fan to be more into something or less into something, not necessarily always based on what I'm listening to. Sometimes the crowd reaction kind of carries you. If you go into a room and somebody's happy, then he makes other people in the room happy. Somebody's sad, he kind of brings down the whole room. It's kind of one of those things. And you just don't get that authentic feeling. One thing I thought would always be cool though is a lot of times, rent out. And I've actually heard a couple of artists thinking about doing this, is renting out like a private theater privately and just doing and recording a concert for their fans. But like I said, I don't know if it could bring the same energy.
Yeah, it won't bring the same energy. It'll be like, again, one of those things that I feel like is like, just something that like you have no choice but to adapt to in a way, I definitely don't think that it'll be the same energy ever, but it'll be, something to at least, be able to give back, give to the fans and for, people to be able to see. And then also for the artists to be able to still have that creative outlet as well. At least for the time being now. I do see that like some like tours are starting to be announced for like 2022. So hopefully those go through. I remember a while ago seeing tours starting to be booked for 2021, which I thought was a little too early, which it was obviously. So
yeah, I mean, a lot of people are getting backlash for the ones that have. I mean, Bow Wow had that one concert and like he got ripped for it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I know that it's Florida, I know that it's Super Bowl, but honestly, I was kind of, when I saw like even one of my homies works with Jack Harlow and they were down in Florida, whatever, and I saw like their, like one of like his videos that he posted first, like when they were like backstage or whatever, and I was just like, wait, are they really like on stage right now?
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
there were no restrictions and they got in trouble for it, but they didn't care.
Yeah, I was like, damn, there's that many people. No one got masked on or nothing. I'm like, shit.
And the worst part is it's just so hard to regulate. A lot of times these places, the famous picture of Ybor City's going on right now, where everybody was just out. When you go into these areas, they're like, wear a mask, have a mask on. But the cops can't regulate 5,000 people. Yeah. Like they just can't. And they don't want to even try because they don't really care about it as much either. I kind of disagree with you saying it might never go back to normal because I do feel like you see like the Bow Wow concert. You see what happened this weekend in Tampa.
Yeah, true.
People want to. And from a safety point of view, it may never be safe again. But we also, as a society, they said that after the Spanish flu. They said that after so many pandemics that have happened over, the history of our life. Eventually, the vaccine will get in control, and eventually this virus will get in control, hopefully, God willing. And then I do think things will eventually, especially concerts, like so many people want it to go back to normal that whether it's safe or not, I think it will. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes sense for sure.
Like you
Yeah,
see
I
all
think
these people
I
just
think
wiling out, and you're like, why would they do that? But because
yeah,
that's what they
yeah.
want. They miss it.
Yeah, no, I agree. But I think that I guess what I meant, yeah, no, I don't think that people won't be doing that. I guess normal in the sense of like, yeah, you will have the people that don't give a fuck and that really want to go out and do all that stuff. But you will have the percentage of people though too that aren't like that. And you have the people that are obviously like the opposite of that. And then you have, and then you have the in-between people. So not that it'll like never go back to normal where there won't be shows and or things like that. But I just don't think that the energy will ever be. I mean, it might come closer. It might go back to normal eventually, but I think it'll be a little bit of time. And I think that it'll definitely be some time before, like, before it's so nonchalant. Like, again, you know what I mean? Like at a festival, I don't, obviously before this, no one was really thinking anything about like, obviously you had some people that do, but like, about like germs. Like I said, like, at a festival, people handing people a joint and things like that. Like, I don't think things like that will necessarily happen. Again, some people will do it and some people will hit it, but like, it won't be something that's just so free like it was.
Yeah, I think especially in the major cities. I think outside the major cities, maybe, but the major cities, especially like even places like Austin and South by Southwest, I think are going to be more locked down for a little while.
Yeah. I mean, I even know here in LA, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, I still, obviously I need to work and do things. Like, I still move around and I still see people. Like, I'm not like in crazy crowded rooms or like in crazy, I'm not in venues and shit like that, but like I'm around people, you know what I mean? And like, I'm safe. I got my mask on and shit. I wear my mask when I go out and stuff. But like, I know some people in LA, like, I know a few people like that haven't done shit. Like, I have a buddy who's a producer and who's like friends with another friend of mine. And anyway, we were talking about him recently, and like he would actually hit me up because he like wanted to work, and I was like, "Oh, you're friends with, this friend?" I was like, "Slide through the studio one day," and he was like, "Oh, I'm not doing in-person sessions yet." And this was just like a week ago, And
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, okay, shit." Like, like to each his own. You know what I mean? Like, do your thing, but like at the same time, like, again, you have those people, and then you have the people like you just said that you have fucking 10,000 people sitting in a room with no mask on because they want to go out again. You know what I mean? So you kind of have, you have like both sides of it.
Yeah, I think it really depends on your personal experience. Like me personally,
Yeah,
I've had people I know personally pass away from COVID. I
you
know
did.
people,
I'm sorry.
yeah, and it sucks. And many people have over 400 plus thousand Americans, right? And
Yeah.
a million plus in the world. And, but you have other people that haven't experienced it at all. It's like, because it is less
Mhm.
than 1% in general. But you try telling that to one of the 400,000 families that have lost somebody, it's a different conversation.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
so I've kind of given up on telling, like, I don't preach, like, I'm not going to preach and tell anybody how to live their life. I'm going to live, me and my family, we're going to live a certain way, live your certain way. At the end of the
Yep.
day, it is what it is. We can't control other people. I do wish in the beginning I'd even taken it more seriously. If we'd all masked up in the beginning for 30, 60, 90 days, this thing would probably be almost gone.
Yeah.
But, hopefully the vaccine takes place soon. Everybody gets their dosage and, we do start getting normal, because I would love to see a Concept concert in Tampa. I would love to see, we're talking about Kid and Play earlier. I love old school hip hop. Like let them all come through, man. I would love shows like that. A lot of these new artists, even Jack Harlow, like people like that, I would love to see in person. I think it'd be dope. Dax is another one I'm high on right now.
Mhm.
Who are some other artists you're like listening to right now?
What have I been listening to? Been listening to some non-hip hop shit. This dude Riz La V. I'm not sure if you heard of him.
Nah, never say to me.
He's been dope. I've been kind of like who have I been listening to a lot of? I don't know. I kind of listen to everything. I kind of don't really get stuck on like one thing so much. At least I try not to. So I haven't been listening to like, but yeah, I don't know. I've been listening to a lot of different shit. I can't even. It's so funny when I'm asked that question. I'm like, what the fuck have I been listening to?
It's always different with every artist. Some artists don't listen to anything and they just make their own music. Some are like inspired by everybody. So
Well, I do I do both. That's what it is, that I just kind of listen to everything. I try not to just like listen to like one artist or one person like too much, because I don't want it to infiltrate what I'm doing, even subconsciously, you know. So there's not like one specific artist that I'm listening to all the time, you know. But I've been listening to everything, really.
Awesome. Well, I'm gonna let you get out of here. Taking up quite a bit of your time. Real quick, I have two questions. One, you've been pretty much releasing a video almost weekly or bi-weekly lately.
Yes, sir.
What's the next one to come?
The next one is the lead single for Champagne Room with the single and video. It's called Feel Like It. I don't have the date yet, but it'll be within the next like 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks.
And you said Champagne Room maybe release in April?
Yeah, April, like top of April, Champagne Room drops.
Awesome. Real quick, tell everybody where they
can. We got a couple singles and a couple videos leading up to the project. So.
Oh, awesome, cool. Tease people a little bit. Tell people where they can keep track of all that stuff.
So I am Koncept with a K, Champagne Konny. You can go to imconcept.com, IAM Concept with a K, imconcept.com. You can find everything there. You can find all my social medias, all my videos, all my music, all my digital touring. That's going to happen soon. And and just all the news. I got all my merch up there. And if you go there and you subscribe to the mailing list, you will get all exclusive content, exclusive discounts, and all the fucking freshness that you can want and need.
Dope. Of course, all the links will be right below this video down in the show notes. On the website, you can find it all on dcxiv.com, certified podcast. Koncept, thank you so much for taking some time as always. You've always been one of my favorite people to cover and always been real. So I appreciate you, man.
Bro, Mike, I appreciate you, man. You've been rocking with me for a long time now, and it means a lot. And always a blast, a pleasure fucking jumping on the show and chopping it up with you, my dude.
We're gonna have to get you on in video next time.
Let's do it for sure.
All right. Maybe when some of these new albums keep dropping out.
I was in the studio late last night, so I woke up like right before we did this. But let's do it soon when the project drops, and we'll do.
You're out in LA. It's middle of the day for me. It's morning for you, so it's all good. Yeah. All right, man. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Certified Podcast.
Yeah. Sheesh.